I'll watch some TV. It'll help me to relax.
Welcome back to the Ren and Stimpy recap. Last week we talked about Man's Best Friend, and today we are taking a look at Out West.
And with these hands, I hold the fate of millions.
We start with the title card, which I think is pretty good. Both the music and the card itself fits the Wild West theme perfectly, and I think the Wanted poster looks pretty funny.
Come back with us now to those bygone days, when the West was brutal, untamed, and lawless. It took a special breed of man to tame this country.
A narrator introduces us to the Wild West and two new characters who are sitting outside the sheriff's house, which is misspelled by the way. The sheriff starts talking and they have some fun dialogue.
Hey, Walt?
Yeah, Abner?
What's ignorant mean?
Danged if I know. But we's it.
I think the voice acting for the two is on point and very fitting for the characters. They also get some funny lines.
Hey, I'm bored.
You're smart enough to be bored?
The episode quickly takes a dark turn when these cartoon deputies start talking about, hanging people.
Let's us hang somebody.
Yeah! We ain't hanged nobody in a long damn time.
I don't think I've even heard anyone talking about hanging people on a Nickelodeon show before. And canonically, these two have killed multiple people in their town by hanging them.
Hey, Walt? Who we gonna hang?
How's about... Oh, Lady Crenshaw!
No, we hanged her yesterday.
And as the line reveals, most of them didn't even do anything, like they weren't criminals. It's super dark and hilarious.
Well, heck, we done just about hanged everybody in town.
You know, maybe we ought to hang somebody that deserves it.
We cut to silhouettes of Ren and Stimpy riding with cowboy hats, and it's really artistic actually. I like this scene and the music helps create the mood for it.
From out of the long desert shadows, ride two three-fingered Hoek and his faithful sidekick, Stupid the Kid.
We get new versions of the two who are now three-fingered Hoek, which made me laugh really hard since you see him hiding his forefinger, and Stupid the Kid, which is also great.
Onward they ride, raw, tough, desperate, small.
They are riding on chickens or roosters or hens, I think it's hens, which of course they are. Them actually riding horses would be more unexpected than hens with Ren and Stimpy.
Hey, Stimpy! Let's go down to that little one-horse town and see if we can pick up some odd jobs, pillaging and looting.
Pillage, 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 loot, loot, loot.
The two head down to the town to, in their own words, pillage and loot, and they see the villain's wanted sign that the sheriff's put up. And now villains is misspelled, which is of course not an animation error and just these sheriffs aren't very smart.
Excuse us, Mr. Sheriff. You needn't look any further, for it is we who are your villains.
There is like a 30-second scene of them just standing, looking at each other and blinking, and I'm not sure how to feel about it. On one hand, it's kind of funny how dragged out it is, but at the same time, it is still very dragged out, and this episode is really slow.
Oh! Say, why don't you fellers mosey over to my place and steal my horse?
On the sheriff's demand, the two villains head over to steal the tall sheriff's horse and comes back very hurt and with something other than a horse.
Here is your horse that we have stolen.
Hey, that's no horse. That's my wife.
That's a good joke. We cut right to everyone's favorite horse, who is chilling in a stable. Mr. Horse is, of course, the horse that the two are supposed to be stealing, and after slapping Stupid the Kid, Three-Fingered Hoek takes the lead and jumps on Mr. Horse, who says the line.
Hey, boss. These guys just stole me and... Well, sir, I don't like it.
Classic. Gotta say, I love the outfits for our two protagonists in the Wild West. It's honestly competing with the uniforms of Commander Hoek and Cadet Stimpy in the space episodes for best designs in the show so far. I really like it.
They're horse thieves, you morons!
Horse thieves! Hang 'em!
We cut to another great silhouette shot where the villains are about to be hanged. Still crazy to me that that's what the entire plot revolves around.
Hey, Stimpy. I have a little confession to make. I polished my boots with your tongue.
That's okay, Ren. I wasn't really asleep.
Ren and Stimpy both say some weird stuff and then the hanging begins, but the two sheriffs run into a problem.
Hey, we can't hang those guys. The scrawny one don't weigh enough, and the fat one ain't got no neck.
That's really funny and makes sense with how, well, the anatomy of Ren and Stimpy are. Still, seeing Ren hanging is completely insane and something I'm very surprised got past the censors.
Who we gonna hang now?
I guess we'll have to hang each other.
The two sheriffs hang each other, and then we actually get an entire song number about the joys of hanging people.
Oh, the Lord loves a hanging, that's why he give us necks. It tightens up our vocal cords.
Anderson's up our picks.
It's pretty catchy and nicely animated. I like the visuals that are going on throughout the whole thing, and this song number is what we end the episode on.
Swing a spell.
This was one of the craziest episodes yet, and probably also the most slow-moving one since The Littlest Giant. While the episode had this very slow pace and dragged scenes out for minutes, it still kept me invested. The concept and plot was so out there that you kind of can't get bored, and the plot kept me invested throughout the entire 11 minutes. Now, before rewatching, I thought Out West was a special, and if that had been the case, it would probably not have worked as well as it did, because a 20 minutes just dragged out special, that is something we're gonna see down the line, and I'm not excited for that. The sheriff characters deserves praise because they were both hilarious. Dumb characters are often funny, but the way the dialogue was written for these two was more than funny, it was perfect. Ren and Stimpy took a backseat this episode, but it was more of the thing we discussed last week with a different character, or in this case, characters, getting a spotlight while not sacrificing our main characters. Again, nothing against Powdered Toast Man, but Out West and Man's Best Friend handled the new character screen time a bit better in my opinion. Ren and Stimpy still got to be funny in this episode, and comedy-wise, it's up there so far. Fun facts. This episode was, to no one's surprise, censored, but only to the extent of removing the last line where one of the sheriffs says to bring your kids to the hanging, as well as trimming down some parts of the episode. This episode still aired with the subject of hanging present in the whole episode. I'm guessing that's not like completely crazy because you have cartoons like Tom and Jerry and like old Mickey Mouse cartoons that showed stuff like that, but this entire episode is about hanging people, and that's crazy to me. All in all, a good episode. Season 2 is picking back up. Join me next week where we are taking a look at Rubber Nipple Salesman.
Goodbye, folks.